I know this line of patterns has been discontinued, but I've still got a few in my stash. Do you? Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyla, and if you're one of my returning subscribers, thanks for stopping by. And I've got an oldie but goodie that I pulled out of my stash that was the first dress that I was going to make for one of my sisters who's expecting. It's not a maternity pattern, but I'm gonna hack it as much as I can to turn it into one. So without further ado, let's get into this. So this is the bias tape maker set that I got from Wawak supplies. And I think for the size that I'm going to need for this dress is going to be the one in the middle here, which is about 3/4 of an inch when it's completely flat. So I'm going to follow the instructions that they have on the back and cut some of my strips at an angle 45 degrees, and on the wrong side, pull it through while pinned to the ironing board. All right, this is something new for me, so let's see how this works out. Okay, so it states that with the wrong side up, you insert the bias strips into the wide end of the tape maker. So that's going to be this in here, and then using an awl, you pull the fabric through. I don't have one of those, I don't think. So I'm going to use a straight pin. I think that should work okay. And hope for the best. Okay, so I've got part of it through. That's good. Now I hope that this is wide enough for what I need, because I may actually have to go up to the larger size. So let's start pulling this along and pressing it, and I'll find out. Okay, so this is what I ended up with once I pulled the tape maker all the way through. And as you can see, it has this gap in the middle that it should be a little bit closer together. So I needed to cut this wider. And also, this size is a little bit too narrow for me. I wanted it to be a little bit wider. So I'm going to go up to the next size and try again. So it's a good thing I did a practice run first, being that this was my first time. But I love the concept of this little maker. I mean, it's such a time saver compared to having to do this manually years ago. So with the help of my Fiskars cutting mat, I'm going to use this 45-degree angle marking here to help me align the fabric to get that cut. And now that I know that 2 inches width is what's going to work to feed through here, I can just measure that off with my see-through ruler instead of the old-fashioned way by just a 12-inch ruler or measuring tape and marking it off with chalk, which is how I learned how to do it when I took sewing lessons in high school. So yeah, technology has come a long way. Okay, here's what we have going so far, and I'm liking how I'm kind of getting a little cowl drape in the back. That's kind of cute. Now that might be draping like this on the mannequin and it may just lay flat on her, which is fine. But either way, it's still cute. So now that I've got the French seams done on the sleeve here, I'm going to go about, I'll finish the neckline up and then start working on the sides. I'm just stitching right along one side of the fold that I opened up on one side of the tape. All right, so I've got the neckline in place and I'm going to trim this as close to my stitch, probably about 1/4 of an inch. Fold that over, give it a press, and then stitch in the ditch from the front side to the back. And then I'll repeat that same process for the armholes as well. And I want to show you that I wish I had done this throughout the entire dress. I serged the inside seam front and back, but I really could have done the French seam throughout this whole garment. So I'm going to do that on the side. I think it'll just be easier and just neater and clean up better. And I've got it trimmed down to about 1/4 of an inch. I'll turn that inside out, press it, and then stitch again on the opposite side. And then I can move on to finishing up the armholes and the hem. This was a quick project, and I'm glad because she can wear this right now. I can't believe I've held on to this pattern for this many years because this was printed in 2001 and it was free and I got it from Hancock Fabrics, so that should tell you just how old it really is. But it was a classic style. I thought I could definitely use this for years to come, and here I am using it present time today. My mom picked the fabric out for my sister, and it's a really nice fluid challis print that will really drape well, that even after she has my nephew, that dress will still contour down and still look really cute. So I love how it turned out, and being able to use my bias tape maker was really a game changer for me. Now I'm going to be making bias tape all the time. I love technology and love how, things should be easier, because making bias tape like, I call it kind of like a biscuit can. You know how you peel the wrapping off, you pop it with a spoon, and then you follow the lines around. That's kind of how I felt making manual bias tape when I first learned how to make it many years ago, back in the 90s. But that was how it was taught to my instructor, so that's how she taught it to us. I'm glad I learned how, but I'm glad that they now make bias tape makers. That was so quick. Cutting my 45-degree angle strips and feeding that through, perfect. So even though Kwik Sew has been retired, I believe they were acquired by Simplicity back in, I want to say 2011 or 2012, and then just slowly kind of phased out. But if you can find these patterns, because I'm sure they're still living on eBay or Amazon maybe, definitely grab some up because the instructions are easy and the styles were classic and they were just very, very simple and very true to the name, Kwik Sew. And you saw how easy that dress came together for me. Well, that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching and thanks so much for stopping by if you're a returning subscriber. And I will see you in the next video with something probably not as quick as this one. Something a little bit more complex that I've been working on. All right, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye, everyone.